Hello, everybody. I'm David Dorman here with my tennis experts, Ian Robbins, Tyler Liddick, and we'd like to welcome you to the first ever production of the Line Movers Network as we preview the U.S. Open tennis tournament about to take place next week, starting Monday in New York, as we'll go over both the men and women's draw in the upcoming podcast. And having said that, let's get right into the action as my experts are ready to rock and roll and get right to it. So, boys, let's move to the men's side first. Can we see the second ever Grand Slam in 1 year? Tyler.
All right, so we're looking at Novak Djokovic here for the listeners. Pleasure being here with you today, David, and Ian. Thanks for joining as well. It's a pleasure being with you. Novak Djokovic could have got the 5 slam this year. He was looking, but he lost to Zverev in the Olympics. He's the heavy favorite. I don't see anyone beating him. His draw, if he can get past Zverev in the quarterfinals, he'll definitely. He has a huge shot to win on that alone. So, with that being said, I do like his chances this year, and it'll probably be the first time we see it since Rod Laver, 1979, maybe. But yeah, Rod Laver was the last one to do it. Ian, what do you think?
Yeah, I totally agree. Novak's definitely putting all of his focus onto this. He hasn't played since the Olympics, since getting bounced out in that semifinals. He's focusing on 21. He's focused on doing something that both Rafa and Federer never did. This is the one to pass him. He's been circling this one, earmarking this one. He loves New York. He's had certainly some history there. And he's really kind of gearing up for this. I can't see anybody really beating him here. You get some tests. Some of those younger players are really starting to do well, prove their points on some of these U.S. hardcourt tournaments that have been going on in the hardcourt series this summer. But I think it's Novak's tournament to lose. He knows that. Players know that. Pressure's going to be on, and we should be in for a show.
So we like the Joker there to make his move and do his New York thing, probably find his way to the finals. Who are we looking at in the other quarters that are going to make a run, see the semifinals in New York? Tyler?
So I do like Zverev in his quarter. I don't see – he does have a tough matchup. I think we touched on that. I think his first round matchup, Sam Querrey. And then from there, actually, lines just got posted right now on MGM, guys. So, yes, Alexander Zverev, Sam Querrey, first round, minus 1,200. But I do have a wager on Zverev to win his quarter. It's minus 110 as well on BetMGM. I'll be playing that for 3 units. So I like that quarter. A quarter I think is wide open is going to be the quarter with Rublev, Tsitsipas, bunch of other guys down there. Felix FFA is in that quarter. We got who else we got in that quarter, Ian?
Yeah, we got Tiafoe lurking there. He's had a great summer, especially in this swing. Hugo Humbert, who's won early in this hardcourt season, definitely wide open. Tsitsipas seems vulnerable. Something seems off with him. He blew that lead at Roland Garros to Novak. I don't think he's quite over it. And he started playing his way back a little bit in Cincinnati. Had that big lead against Zverev in the third set, blew it again. So where's his mindset going to be? He's got a first round match with Andy Murray. Crowds will be pumping up Andy Murray there, wanting to see him give his last hurrah. If he makes it through there, he's got a couple guys who have been really showing up this season. Hugo Humbert, lefty, tough. Cam Norrie has had a good run. He had a nice run at Wimbledon as well. So guys that are really lurking there, the top half of that corner, Rublev, won as many matches as any man has this season. Tiafoe is going to definitely have the crowd. He could have a nice Would that be a round 3 matchup with Rublev there? Kyrgios lurking. Who knows what Kyrgios is going to be if he's playing? He says he's highly motivated to play. He always loves playing in New York. FAA, he broke through with that quarterfinal run, getting over Zverev at the home in Wimbledon. He's got a nice price on him. That's really the quarter to look out for. The one that upsets one. If you want to get some value coming in, see how that first couple rounds play out, but you might be able to pull an upset or two there for sure.
Looking at that quarter, a guy that's been playing real well lately, but used to be ranked inside the top 30, Benoit Perry. If he's highly motivated, he can play well. Just was in the finals, I think, of maybe Cincinnati or Toronto. Either the finals or the semifinals. Made it pretty far. He was a case of giving up early in the season. He was literally serving the ball into the net, didn't care. Fourth quarter of the draw, Medvedev looks like it's his. He looks like he got the easiest draw besides the Joker. Kind of seems like the Joker's draw repeats every single tournament, and it ends up him versus Berrettini. Don't see Mario Berrettini being able to beat him on any surface. Definitely not in. He could maybe get him in 3 games, but not in 5. So Joker to win that quarter is unplayable, minus 500. No play in the first quarter. Definitely, I'm going to be playing Zverev in the second quarter. Third quarter's wide open. I know me and Ian both grabbed Rublev to win on DraftKings at 60-1, just on the massive mismatch because he's 33-1 on MGM. But that's basically all we got out of the third quarter at the moment. And the fourth quarter, I will definitely have a play on Medvedev to win the quarter at minus 125. It's probably going to be the same size that I have on Zverev, but it's not official yet. I'm waiting on exact matchups to be posted to see what the lines are on that.
One thing you look at in that last quarter, that Medvedev quarter, it's pretty light on the top. Medvedev has a run. He might have a couple matchups to get there. He's got Dan Evans lurking, Marin Cilic, a couple of veterans there. But the top of the quarter, Casper Ruud is the number 1 guy. He's more of a clay quarter. This is a fast course. First round matchup between American vet John Isner, younger American Brandon Nakashima, who's really starting to play better, kind of assert himself. If Nakashima can get by Isner and knock him off in what would be a pretty nice upset, 16-1 to get that quarter price, he would have a nice run to maybe meet up with Medvedev, and you get him at 16-1 at that price. He's got a lot of talent. He's certainly there if he's looking for the moment. Medvedev, you don't know where his mindset's going to be at that point if he gets down a little bit. Just kind of a guy who might be able to make a run there with a very interesting first-round matchup with John Isner.
Yeah, and you have 3 guys in that bracket that are what they consider now the serve bots of tennis: Anderson, Isner, and Cilic, and they can fall at any time. And those guys can fall in the first round, or they can go. Cilic won. He is a champion of the U.S. Open, Wimbledon.
He's a former U.S. Open champion. Yeah,
former U.S. Open champion here. So he's dangerous. However, it all depends on those guys' serve. But David, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to just jump in and say that fourth quarter, Medvedev's quarter just looks light on talent. I even think Novak Djokovic's first quarter is tougher than Medvedev's fourth. And I didn't think I was going to like Medvedev going into this, but that's Zverev and Rublev's quarters are loaded with talent. And I just don't see many guys in Medvedev, like you both just pointed out, that really can play and beat Medvedev on the fast hard courts in New York.
Yeah, that's it. That's 3 out of 5. That really takes it up a notch. That's the tiebreaker for a lot of these guys in the men's draws. Getting that third set off a guy who has more talent is really, really tough to do. We see chalk all the time. Certainly, guys can pop up. Maybe Tiafoe, who's been there, who's had some Grand Slam experience, can make a run. FAA maybe with some Grand Slam experience, but getting through to that third set, winning that third set out of 5, is the kicker.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
We don't have the, or as Ian just told us, the first round lines are just popping out. But are there any first round matchups that catch your eye that you really want to be watching Monday, Tuesday, that are coming our way?
Yeah, I got my eye on Fritz and Demenior. Taylor Fritz, Alex Demenior. Alex Demenior didn't really play that well in the Olympics. Hasn't played well since. Taylor Fritz, one of those massive serve guys. But unlike the other guys, Opelka and Silic, Fritz has a little bit more to his game. Gets around the court a little bit better. I want to check this line out right here. Give me a moment. Go ahead, Ian. See if there's any matchups you know. I want to see if that line was posted.
Well, there's a couple first-round matchups that stick out to me. One I'm just going to really be interested to watch. A couple of young guys who've been really making their mark this summer. Young American Jensen Brooksby made a final run. I believe it was in Washington or Atlanta this year, one of those two tournaments that started out the hardcourt season. Really had the crowd behind him. Young guy coming up the challenger circuit. See if he could make a run here. He's going up against Mikael Emir, a youngster out of Sweden who's been having a really good season, getting better. He's been playing well on all courts. He's been getting better each tournament, getting better each mini season, each clay court to hard court to grass court season. And he's won a couple matches. Really interested in that first round match. And I'll point to that Zverev match. Zverev we always see struggle in that first round of a Grand Slam. You see him drop a set, drop two sets, have to come back. Those are always against lesser players, though. He's going up against Sam Querrey, vet in New York, in the U.S. Open, guy with a big serve, knows how to win. He's made a semifinal before in a major. Zverev can get himself in trouble in the first round. That's not the guy you want to get down to because he knows how to close it out. He's certainly past his prime, certainly in a different spot, not the kind of talented player he was when he was top 10, but not the ideal first-round matchup for Zverev coming in so great as he has been.
And that New York crowd, will be jumping all over Querrey if he can get Zverev on the ropes a little there.
Absolutely.
It might be a nighttime affair.
Yes, it will be. If you don't have either guys have either more of those are great answers. Let me ask you this. Not necessarily to win the championship, but got any names that are going to make a run in New York? Maybe see the second weekend. Maybe see the quarterfinals. Maybe some names that people aren't really looking at yet.
So I got a guy I've been on the wrong end of all week long. Ilya Ivashka. He's actually playing some real good tennis today. He played Pablo Carreño Busta, beat him. He's got a tough matchup, round of 32 again against Matteo Berrettini, who beat him beat him in 3 straight sets at Wimbledon. So, but he's playing well. He's also one of those guys with a great serve. Uses it to his advantage, plays the net well. If he can get past Berrettini, sets him up to go maybe the distance to find Joker, but I still don't see him, getting past the Joker. So there's always FAA, but he was impressing me a week ago, and then he lost to Tsitsipas, who then gave up a 4-1 lead to Zverev. So TFO, he's got a massive game, and he's in such great shape that he'll play anyone all night long. He doesn't care. So those guys got to watch out for him. If you don't show up ready to play, he took out Tsitsipas in the first round of Wimbledon.
Yep, it was in Wimbledon right after that French Open collapse.
Yeah, gotta watch out for that guy. So,
yeah, Tiafoe's definitely a guy I'm looking at. I'm circling that match. I'm really hoping that he makes it through to Rublev because I think that could be an epic match in the night under the lights. Arthur Ashe, crowd going. What crowd can be there? Tiafoe's going to really feed off of that. See how Rublev reacts. Coming off his final appearance, he finally got over the hump, beating Medvedev, losing to buddies forever. But Tiafoe really coming into shape, as you were saying. A guy I mentioned before, Nakashima, if he can get by Isner, I think he can make a little bit of a run. Ugo Humbert, a guy kind of under the radar, doing pretty well. One tournament earlier, kind of a wide open part of the draw. Maybe he can win a couple matches and get through there.
Absolutely. Any finals prediction matchups that you guys seen, or a combination of different guys that probably, we'll see the semis or the finals come 2 weeks?
Yeah, so before the brackets were released, I was looking to see the Joker versus Zverev in the finals. I was hoping for it. Zverev played his most incredible tennis ever in the Olympics when he won those 11 straight games against Joker. I mean, it was, I think, 2-1, and he just went 11 straight against the Joker. And the Joker just looked absolutely clueless on what to do. But hey, they're going to face off sooner than that. So I'm looking exact matchup. If I can find a good number on it, again, not posted yet, but I'm looking to see probably a repeat of the Australian Open this year, which we saw Joker versus Medvedev, and we'll probably see Joker win pretty easily.
Interesting. Ian, got any?
Yeah, I would agree with that matchup. I think they have the clearest path to the finals. You look at a future draw like this, and you see Djokovic minus money to win a tournament. It can be risky not to entice him to see that. But trying to get a little bit higher odds, see Medvedev. If you're not a believer of Medvedev, which I do think he's in great form, he's working for this. He wants the U.S. Open. He loves the court. He's taken Novak to 5 sets. He's been to the finals before. I think that's the matchup to pick. It's pretty chalky. It's men's tennis. It's best 3 out of 5. Chalky is, don't be afraid of chalk in men's tennis. That's really what we've learned over the last couple of years. And I think that's the best finals matchup as well.
Yeah. Ian, anyone playing better than Zverev coming into this tournament in New York? Anyone is hot? Anyone is confident? He's got a gold medal hanging around his neck. Now he just put on another tournament last week in Cincinnati. He's running through everybody.
Yeah, he's running through. He's got the Masters win with the Cincinnati win. He's got the gold medal win. What Tyler mentioned, he took out Novak 11 straight games. Confidence is running high. He's in great form. He's feeling it. He's probably a little bummed out that he's got Novak in his same side of his semi. But he's going to be, if his mind is right, if he's in it, he's got the game, he's got the form. Maybe it's his time. We've seen some other guys starting to break through. Maybe it's his time. He's certainly in the right spot for it right now.
Tyler, anyone on the level right now of Zverev that's hot, confident, coming in?
Well, hopefully you hope that Novak's at full health. If he's at full health, there's obviously nobody on his level. He cited injuries after getting bounced out of the Olympics. Whether it was an excuse or not, it doesn't seem like it's in his nature to make those kind of excuses. Zverev, the hottest tennis player on tour right now. He's got the first serve working for him really well. His percentage he wins on first serves is incredible. His problem the last couple of years has been double faults, and the way his first serve is right now, he doesn't have the problem with double faults. His second serve is better than what it was in the past. He plays better he can cover the court. He plays the net well. Yeah, Zverev's playing the best, but Medvedev has the easiest road. And it's a tough matchup for Zverev. And even if Zverev gets past the Joker, I think it'll be in 5 sets.
Will he have anything left? If he could beat Novak in the semis, will he have anything left in the tank against Medvedev or potentially Rublev again? That's the question. If he gets over that hump, now we're in the semis. He did it in the Olympics. He beat Novak in the Olympics in the semis, and he still came away with the gold. So maybe that blueprint is there.
Absolutely. Tyler, if you can predict out a few rounds or so, you can give me a third round, a fourth round. You can give me any round you want. What's a matchup you're dying to see on the men's side that we hope we get to see in New York?
Yeah, so in the first round, we got two hotheads of Fognini and Pospisil. Both of those are known to just lay into a chair umpire. So that'll be on primetime television, I'm sure. After that, they'll be facing the guy tearing it up this week in Winston-Salem, Ilya Ivashka. And I think if he can get past them, he'll be facing the Berrettini matchup, which we did talk about that. I'm looking forward to seeing the matchups in the Rublev quarter because those guys at the top, I mean, it's going to be a scramble, and there's really no clear-cut favorite with the way the guys are playing. Rublev, it seems like he finally climbed that hurdle in that victory over Medvedev, so that could be a big mental thing for him as well. He's always in great shape, and he does struggle against guys with massive serves, so if he runs into one of them, it's something to watch out for. But I think I'm definitely looking forward to all those matchups down there with Rublev, Tsitsipas, FFA, all those guys, Schwartzman.
Yeah, just a loaded quarter. Ian, any matchup you hope you see?
Yeah, I mentioned that potential Tiafoe Rublev match. Really would love to see that. Rublev gets by there. FA might be waiting for him. Again, would love to see that. Two exciting guys to play. I want to see what Nick Kyrgios brings. He's got Roberto Batista Agut round one. He's playing. He's here. He loves the New York crowd. He usually gives his best effort. He's in that Rublev quarter. He's in that quarter that's kind of wide open. If he's at his best with that big serve on these fast courts, playing with a mission, he's a guy to be messing with. We know that he's got all the talent in the world. He could be matching up with FAA round 3, and that could be real fun.
That would be great. That would be fun to watch. Ian, someone's going to lose early next week in New York, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Who's going to go down, and it won't surprise you one bit?
We talked about this guy. We talked about his mental fragility. Stefanos Tsitsipas. Where's his mind at? He lost first round of the major after he had a demoralizing loss in the final. A demoralizing loss to Zverev. Where's his mindset at? Plays Andy Murray round 1. The crowd's going to be with Andy Murray. Andy Murray's last hurrah. Can he do it? Maybe, maybe not. He's got a couple of younger guys who've been doing well, a couple of veterans in his bottom half that he could see. Would not surprise to see him. I already mentioned, again, Nakashima against John Isner. John Isner won the Atlanta tournament, as he always does, it seems like. Maybe he goes down round 1 to a guy who maybe the casual tennis fan might not know, Brandon Nakashima, but a guy definitely on the rise in American tennis.
Tyler.
Sorry, repeat the question. I'm looking at this Sebi Korda.
No problem. Who's going to
this Sebi Korda matchup in the first round really just caught my eye. He's actually got Vasilijevo. I really don't know how to say his name, but we've been betting him a lot this year on clay. That's a great matchup for Sebi, and I think he's playing in his first U.S. Open. His parents had him on that real strict schedule last year. Didn't let him play in a lot of tournaments, and he's been playing some great tennis, and he's got a massive serve. Some reason he really takes it off on the second serve, but I'd like to see how far he can advance. Matchup that goes, we're looking at matchups that I see down the road. I'm really looking to see Opelka maybe versus Lorenzo Musetti, maybe in the second round. I think they'll end up squaring off. Opelka's got that massive serve, but he just doesn't seem to do much else on the court. Musetti is a clay court guy, but he's on the rise as well in Italian tennis, and those Italian guys love to make their name and their stamp in New York. Feeding off the New York crowd. Joker loves New York. He, again, said Kyrgios. Denis Shapovalov feeds off the crowd a lot too, and he's a wild card because he's a lefty, and lefties are tough to play against. Depends. He's always in great shape. Just depends what what's going on with his serve as well.
If Sebi Korda can make a run, like you had mentioned, he could be meeting up with Shapovalov down the road. That would be round 3, round 4, and that could be a real entertaining match. Young guy, Korda, all the talent in the world. Shapo, same thing, all the talent in the world, trying to put it together. They both had big runs in the last major, so maybe they could.
They played in the semifinals of a tournament earlier this year, and Sebi had the lead on him, and Shapovalov came back and beat him.
Good talent.
I'm positive of that.
Oh.
That'd be a fun matchup to see as well.
That would. We started discussing the men's field with Novak. Let's get back to him as we wrap up the men's side. Tyler, I could give you can take Novak, or you can have the rest of the entire field. Where are you going?
So what is the line on it? The line, I don't know, maybe the line on Novak versus the field plus 400, plus 500 in the range of that.
Really? I was going, that was my next question for Ian, but sure.
I don't know what the line would be, but he doesn't have too tough of a matchup in my eyes until he gets to see Berrettini and Zverev. And then, I mean, after that, it's Medvedev who he consistently beats in 5-set matches. So I really think that I think we're going in the right direction with Novak winning. I'd really like to see what those odds would be.
Yeah, I think Novak is what minus 125, anywhere minus 125 to 140, depending on what book you're seeing, what price you're seeing to win the tournament. I think that's a fair price. I think I'd take Novak. Best 3 out of 5. It's really hard. It's hard to take 3. It's hard to take 2 out of 3 against Novak. It's harder to take 3 out of 5. His mental will that we saw, his ability to come back, his ability to withstand and kind of just find energy to get 3 sets out of 5. Beating Novak 3 out of 5 in 2021 might be the hardest task that we've seen in tennis in a while. I don't see anybody beating him. I take Novak.
All right. So both my experts, Ian and Tyler, are on the Joker over the field. If either of you have any last comments on the men's side, or we can wrap it up and move on to the women.
Let's wrap it up, move on to the women. Little change of pace here. I'm going to take control, and we're going to let David and Ian take the wheel on answering the questions. So we're going to start by taking a look at the women's side. And who is your favorite to win, and who's the betting favorite to win as well, David? So taking a look at the women's side, who is your favorite to win this week, and who's the betting favorite to win?
The betting favorite, yes, is clearly on Ash Barty. I've seen her basically as low as 3-1. I haven't really seen anything higher than 4-1. She comes in incredible form. She rolled through Cincinnati. No one even gave her a rough match or a rough set even. She just looked physically in great shape. I had heard she hadn't been home to Australia. She's in over a year. She's been in crazy training, and she just looks focused, ready. This is the last major of the season, so I think she's focused on, getting through the next 2 weeks, putting, a victory on here at the U.S. Open, and wrapping up a sensational year for her.
Yeah, Barty definitely looks really, really hot coming in. Her quarter just looks loaded, though. There's a couple players with some big question marks that we're going to see. First, Naomi Osaka. A lot of pressure on her since the middle of the year, kind of coming to this point. If she's on, former U.S. Open champion, we know she's on hard courts. That's her surface. She is almost impossible to beat at her best. Will she be at her best? Another former champ who's coming off injury, Bianca Andreescu. She hasn't been great since coming back. But again, when she was at her best, she was almost impossible to beat. The last 2 majors we've seen, French Open on the women's side, completely blown up. Unknowns, no ranks, completely blown up field. Wimbledon was a little bit more chalky. Some older names kind of coming through. I think we get a little bit more wide open. See if anybody could step up and challenge Ash Barty.
Yeah, to your point, Ian, as much as I just said how much I like Barty and the form she's in, that her quarter is loaded. And like you said, women's tennis is not as chalky as the men. It's 2 out of 3. Things happen. Women get beat. But just looking at Barty's quarter, got Jen Brady, Bencic, Pagula, Iga Swiatek, Teichmann's on fire. That is no easy draw for Barty. They did her no favors coming in at that number 1 seed. If she gets through that quarter, she has earned it.
You're looking at Brady, last year's finalist, Bencic, current gold medalist. That was on a hard court. Pagula was having a great hard court season, really ready to try to take that next step. Swiatek, one of the best surface players of clay, certainly in the world, talented. Teichmann just met Barty in a final, making that run. Yeah, she will definitely earn that.
Yeah, I'd say the committee didn't do us any favors putting Pagula and Teichmann in the same bracket with us having those massive futures there at 90 and 120 to 1, respectively. So if anybody gives Barty a shot, hopefully it's Pagula or Teichmann for us. So, guys, if you were to pick a player to win their quarter or some players to win their quarter, who would you be taking? And anyone in particular?
Yeah, I'll jump in. I'll say I think looking down at Karolina Pliskova and her quarter, I think hers is a little bit more straightforward. A couple more wild cards than hers, but she's been in great form. She's been getting better. A lot of her demons, especially in the majors and the Grand Slams, has been kind of mental breaks, a lot of valleys to go along with some peaks. But she's been really, really mentally tough. Made the Wimbledon finals. She is coming back from down breaks and sets. Was a comeback kid in Cincinnati. Was really, really coming to form. Or that was in Montreal, I believe it was, that she was really coming back when down, really finding a way to get it done. I think her only big pitfall or her big obstacle in that quarter might be Paula Badosa, who's had a great hard court season, great player, but I think Pliskova is my favorite bet to win that quarter at plus 333.
I like that too. I'm going to look to the second quarter. Barbara Krejcikova. I believe I saw the odds around 4 to 1 to win the quarter. Again, not an easy quarter. Azarenka is there, Muguruza is there, Danielle Collins, Sabalenka. But I like the form Krejcikova is playing. I like where she's at right now. Had a nice tournament last week in Cincinnati. She's had a great year, a breakthrough year, and I think she can keep this going in New York.
Yeah, she's been playing some great tennis. She used to really only be a doubles threat, and now she's really changed her game to really become one of the best, maybe top 20, top 25 women on tour right now. So I like her to win her quarter as well. I actually grabbed that at 4 to 1. So hopefully, if anybody can challenge Saba in that quarter, it would be her. Pliskova, I think, is actually at 18 to 1 to win. So that's not a bad bet either. The way she's playing tennis right now.
Yeah.
Any first round matchups you guys have your attention or you're interested in catching on television, maybe watching?
Yeah, I think
all of them.
Yeah, definitely. I think the highlight first round match that a lot of us are going to see is Camila Giorgi, the Montreal Premier champion, going against Simone Halep. Big time first round match. Halep is a big time question mark. Obviously, former world number 1. Giorgi is one of the better players in this hard court season. Great form, just outside the rankings. So just missed that ranking. But that's going to be Giorgi can win, and she can maybe take that. That quarter is that part of the quarter is big question mark. You got Osaka in there, Coco Gauff in there, but not really much else. Kerber, who's had a kind of a rebuild the second half of the season, but Halep, Giorgi can get by Halep. Maybe he was a slight underdog. I think those odds are going to be a little bit closer than casual tennis fans might see. I think you're going to see a lot of people saying, why is Halep only a slight favorite? And that's going to be time I'm going to definitely have a bet on Georgie to win that matchup. Really excited to see that match.
Yeah. I believe a lot of the American Tennis Eyes fans will be, they will see Madison Keys playing Sloane Stevens. Be excited to watch that one. Just 3-4 years ago, I think they battled for the championship in New York. So that's an interesting first round matchup. Magda Linette playing Coco Gauff. Coco Gauff, will she have nerves on in New York on the big stage again? That could be a very interesting first one. And there was one Ian touched on. Buzkova is playing Osaka. Who knows where Osaka's head is? Buzkova can play tennis. She is good. She is talented. If Osaka is not mentally into this match, that will be a battle.
Yes. Speaking of Georgie, we also got that 300-1 on her, and she's now down to 40-1. With that being said, she did just beat Coco Gauff on her way to that championship, and they're in the same bracket. So, yeah, if they face off, I might even have to give the edge to Coco there. That could be a matchup down the road. We might get to see. With that being said, any long shots you guys like to advance? Maybe not to win, but we could see them in the quarters, or maybe fighting in the round of 16 to advance.
The one person I'm looking at who's had a great summer, great run through the U.S. hardcourt season is Danielle Collins. I'm kind of liking her to how Jen Brady kind of rolled through the hardcourt season last year, made that run to the finals. Danielle, she's a fiery player. She's up and down. She is all over the place, but when she is geared in, focused, former college player, she can really, really, really take it. And I think she's taking that next level step this summer and might be ready for a nice run here in Flushing Meadows. And she has a potential matchup early on with Sabalenka. And that's a match that could be 6-love, love 6, 6-love. And they're just two wild cards, two fiery players on the court. But I kind of do like Collins. She's 35-1 to win the tournament. I like taking a long shot in the women's bracket. I think Collins has a real shot in this one.
I like that one, Ian. I'm going to Jill Teichman intrigues me a little here. Playing real well. It did a nice job in Cincinnati. I know she got rolled in the finals, but until that, she was really, really playing good tennis. Again, she seems to like this surface. Her coaches say her head's in the right spot, and she's finally physically feels much better. I could see Jill Teichman again making a move. My hesitation again is Pegula and Iga Swiatek are all in that same area in the draw. So as much as I do like Teichman, I'm on both sides of the fence because I could see Pegula and Iga Swiatek also making a move in this tournament. So those are a couple of the ones I'll be looking out and seeing if we can make a move, win a few matches there.
One deep name I'm going to throw out there is Ann Lee, American. She's playing a lot of challenger, kind of upper challenger circuits, lower level WTA circuit level matches. Had a pretty good summer through those. Pretty good hardcourt player, experienced player, especially in the U.S. She's in the top half of the court of Elena Svitolina Monfils now. And she can get by. Elena Rybakina, I think, is the best player in that quarter. But if Ann Lee, she's got a qualifier round one, she might be able to she'll have that match with the winner of Georgie Halep. And if that's a battle, she might have a worn out player. And if that match could be a little telling. And I think the winner of that match is going to take it to the quarterfinals.
Well, interesting. I got maybe Tyler for you. Simone Halep, it doesn't seem to be in the discussion. What's going on?
Health. I don't know that she's healthy. I think she just withdrew from a tournament. Maybe not the most previous, but the one before that. I don't think she's healthy. With that being said, she's also she's in that quarter we just talked about with Georgie, with Coco, with Naomi. She's got a road in front of her she is a former champion. She doesn't have the easiest road in front of her. So I do not believe that Simone Halep sees the second week of the tournament in New York this year. Whether that's health or the competition she faces, I don't believe she sees the second week. But that being, with that on your mind, any matchups you are excited to see, like maybe long in the quarters or round of 16, if we can get some players to advance?
Yeah, I think that's the big question. If we can get some players to advance, I think there's a lot of highlight ones. One that I would really love to see is Rima Ash Barty could potentially play Sarah Sorribes Tormo, who's been in great form these past couple months. They could potentially match up the top half of that draw, round 4, I believe it would be. And that Sarah Sorribes Tormo took out Ash Barty at the Olympics, and that might be the last time that Ash lost. That kind of turned her away. So that could be a nice rematch if she can make that run. She's got to move over first round. Sarah Sorribes Tormo does, but she's in great form. She's playing really well. That could be an exciting match to see that rematch, to see how Ash would respond in that sense. Yeah, that's a highlight for me. That's something that I'm circling, hoping that does happen.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. Maybe Pliskova Sakari would interest me. Like to see those big hitters go at it. That would kind of be interesting. Again, a lot of traffic for both of them to get there, but that would be a good one. And then Ian mentioned Collins Krejcikova. How about that in about round 4 of the quarterfinals? That would be a tremendous match also for the women.
Any players, anyone besides Ash Barty right now that you have playing their best tennis?
Yeah. Ash is clearly the best coming off that Cincinnati tournament, but we saw a couple players just in dynamite. Camila Giorgi's playing the best she's ever played in her life, running through that Montreal tournament. She was playing well. She was beating girls. I think Pliskova is in a really, really good mindset right now, playing some of the best she has in a couple of years. Jessica Pegula has had a solid hardcore season. Danielle Collins.
Funny you mentioned those two, Ian. That was Pliskova just came back against Pegula in 2 sets when she was basically dead to rights. 5-1, 4-1, came back and won in 2 sets. So yeah, go on.
Yeah, both they always seem to find a way to meet later on in the tournament. Pegula's been finding her way. Danielle Collins had a run early on. She I think she won like an 11-match win streak. She won the tournament in San Jose. She backed it up. She's really playing. A lot of women are coming in good form. Angelique Kerber has found some form. She made a nice run at Wimbledon. She just made a nice run through a couple of these. She won a tournament in the hardcourt series. She's a 4-time Grand Slam champion. Lefty can't count her out. She's got a big number, right, Tyler? Don't you have a number on her?
A number on Pegula?
Kerber. Was she 40-1? Did you look at that one?
Angelique Kerber to win this year. Her quarter was 10-1, so I'd imagine her.
She's 35-1 to win it all.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah,
she's a solid player, former champion, isn't she?
Yeah,
as well.
Yeah.
Left-handers, left-handers are always tough to play against anyone, and they always have the advantage because they play more right-handers. So, yeah. So with that being said, Ash Barty, same thing with Novak Djokovic. If you're the odds maker, what are you making the line for Ash Barty versus the entire field?
So Ash Barty's number to win a tournament is about plus 350. I think that's a little bit too expensive for her in a women's tournament. Is she the best player? Is she the favorite? Absolutely. Plus 350 with talents like Naomi Osaka, Bianca Andreescu, former champions like Angelique Kerber, Karolina Pliskova playing well. I just think there's a lot of firepower out there. A lot of firepower within her quarter. A lot of firepower just in this draw that it's a crapshoot. It's an up and down. It's definitely not the chalk that we see. If Osaka's at her best, she should be the favorite. If Andreescu's at her best, she has a case to be the favorite. If Barty's at her best, she is the favorite. So I would definitely take the field there. I think 350 is a little bit too expensive for my taste. I'm actually looking to fade Ash Barty as we get down the road here.
I'm with Ian 100% on that. I keep sounding like a broken record, but Barty's going to have her work cut out to get out of that quarter. And then Pliskova or Andreescu, we've mentioned a few. I'm with Ian. I like the field on that one. And I think that would you say that's probably a lower number than the field versus the Joker because of how much other talent's around in the women's field versus the lack of men that could actually beat Joker?
Yeah, I'd say probably the Djokovic line would be up even. Novak being
Yeah.
like minus 125, so the field probably being about probably even money plus 110. Barty being minus 350 or plus 350 to win. You're probably paying minus 600 on the field here, but I think building a futures portfolio of about 3 to 5 kind of mid shots, maybe throw some long shots in there that you think might have a chance to get a unit outcome, an equal unit outcome might be your best bet. Trying to pick 1 or 2 from each quarter that you might like a medium shot and a longer shot, and have a couple people go in the backfield there, giving you a chance to win with a longer payout than a plus 350.
I'm going with that route too, Ian.
Yeah, we did discuss that earlier with the Danielle Collins and Barbara Krejcikova. They could then end up facing each other for the quarter. And if you have Collins at 35-1 to win the tournament, you could have Barbara to win the quarter at 4-1, and you'd be covering both ends there if they do square off. But there's a lot of things that need to happen in the women's. Like you said, it's not like the men's. They don't play 5 sets. Talent doesn't always prevail in the 3rd, 5th set. Things happen in the women's because it's a lot quicker, and it's only best out of 3. So are there any futures or any bets that you've already picked up that no longer maybe no longer available, maybe still available? Maybe I have a bet right now that I'll go ahead. I'll put it on the record. I wish I wouldn't have got it. Wish I would have waited till the bracket was released, but I went and got Zverev the other day at 7-1. And I was expecting him to play the Joker in the finals. So again, me and Ian, we have those big futures on Camilla, Pegula, and Jill Teichmann, close to 100-1 on all of them. I think you actually did get 100-1 on Teichmann, and I only got 90. But either way, any of those would be awesome.
Yeah, we're sitting at 100-1 with Jill. Camilla's 300-1. That was right before she won Montreal, and Pegula will be 200-1 right before that. I got lucky with the French Open. I was able to pick up Krejcikova at 400-1 a couple of weeks right before she made that run. You
have Krejcikova at 400-1?
400-1 to win the French Open earlier this year. Don't expect to cash many of those, that's for sure. So trying to pick up a couple shots. Georgie 300-1. That's long gone. I think you see her far down as 20-1 right now. Pegula
30's long gone.
Yeah. So if you're looking to enter in now, I think the best bet would be kind of trying to build a portfolio, 1 to 2 per quarter. Who you like. If you don't have access to quarter markets, trying to pick long shot, medium shot. Pliskova 18-1. I like Collins 35-1. I like. Kind of sticking with those 2 as my new ones, in addition to the long shots I already have in pocket here.
Yeah, agreed. I don't know that I'll be getting a Collins one, but I do agree with you on the Pliskova. She's been playing well, and she does have a massive serve. That always helps in the female game. In the men's, I'm just looking to add right now I'm looking to put in my pocket an exact matchup on Joker Medvedev, just simply for the fact that I already have Joker on Barstool plus 140, so plus 100. You're not going to get better than those odds anywhere, so I'm not going to add to it. I'm just going to look for a Joker versus Medvedev. I don't know what the odds will be on that. I'm thinking maybe, I don't know, plus 600 because Medvedev's plus 400, plus 450. So maybe an exact matchup for me.
Yeah, one thing I might look at in the men's bracket is attacking that Rublev quarter. We mentioned earlier, Rublev 60-1 on DraftKings is just a wrong price. He's 20-1 other places. Attacking that, looking at FAA 100-1. Maybe looking at Ugo Humbert. It's a little bit longer. You can get probably 150, 200-1. The men's odds are really, really, really skewed because you have that even money favorite. You really have like 3 to 4 guys that are pricing taking most of the money. So there's some long shots. So I'm going to attack that one quarter and hope that somebody could pop to the semis and then play around with the numbers a little bit once there. So Rublev at 60, FAA at 100. I don't know what the current number on Humbert is, but I think he might have a path to the final. I'm guessing it's probably around 150, 200, depending where you shop. Looking at those three guys, some shots as a price to maybe make a run to the semis and maybe make it to the final.
And I think a lot of that depends on those guys that you talked about. FAA depends on his serve. Ugo Humbert also depends on his serve. So, hey, I mean, anybody can do it. It's just you gotta be mentally there. I mean, it's New York City. There's a lot of distractions, but there's also a lot of crowd that's going to be there behind you to get you pumped up. And it's going to help every American in the field. Weird as it wasn't the American fade train in the French Open as it usually is this year. A couple of them kind of hurt us. But I think you can look to fade maybe some of the Frenchmen, some of the clay court guys, some of the guys, some of the Spanish guys, the Argentina guys. You can look to fade them. It's a heavy American field, and I think we'll be seeing a bunch of them advance. And I do not think we'll see our first American champion, though. Don't get me wrong. I just think that we're going to see the crowd help out the American talent.
Totally agree. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun, different experience than last year. Really looking forward to some tennis with some live crowds in New York because on the lights at Ash, it's a great sight.
Yeah, take it away, David.
There's nothing like great late night tennis around midnight from New York City with great matches, the men and women. It should be awesome. And like Ian said, the fans are back, the excitement is back, and it just should be an awesome tournament, both sides for the men and women. Just want to say thank you again for joining us. For Ian Robbins, for Tyler Liddick, I'm David Dorman. It's been a pleasure being with you, breaking down the U.S. Open men's and women's side. And again, this was the first ever production of the Line Movers Network. Look for us all over, all the different sports. We hope to be coming to you from all different angles. So thank you again. Have a good night.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.